Welcome, everyone. We are live, and it is Tuesday. And the moon, well, she's still snuggled in bed because she's shrouded in the blankets of the clouds. She sure is. She's lovely. Mm-hmm. She sure is lovely. Well, this is a glorious day. This morning we're talking about how to have faith. Oh, you already have faith. You already have it. It's not like you're walking down the street and you look down, oh, look, there's a $10 bill. You don't find it, you have it. Well, how so do you have it? Hmm. How do you have it? When you're talking about faith, faith is not the blind belief in anything. No, that's being hopeful. Faith is the understanding of why things happen so that you know. So that when you stand 10 toes down, you stand 10 toes down because you know. Here's the story. Here's a story. Shazard, hello. In the Bible, stay with me. In the Bible, there were 10 lepers. 10. A whole 10 of them. Who birds of a feather. Anyhow, they came up to Jesus and said, uh, Master, can you heal us? And he said, go show yourself to the priest. Now, if you spent any time with me on Saturday, I've already told you this one because this is when the realization hit me, was on Saturday. So he says, go, go. He didn't say, yes, I've healed you. He said, go show yourself to the priest. Now, the purpose of showing yourself to the priest was so the priest could see you and declare, oh, well, they're cured. That was the purpose of the priest. So right out the gate, the lepers knew. They knew if the priest saw you and you were healed, you were without blemish, you were no longer a leper. Well, then you knew, as long as you saw the priest and the priest gave you a clear bill of health, you knew where to go and you knew why you had to go see the priest. So their faith was not blind when Jesus said, go show yourself to the priest, huh? So their faith wasn't blind. It wasn't blind at all. 10 of what? 10 lepers. Leprosy. This is it's a story from the Bible. Now, the reason why I use Bible stories is because they tell us something. The Bible story tells us how to do something. You don't have to believe in Jesus to do something. You just need to do what you've heard in the story. So here it is again. 10 men with leprosy, 10 women with leprosy. It just said 10 people with leprosy. They went to Jesus. Oh, Master, can you heal us, please? And Jesus said, go, show yourself to the priest. That's what they did. Why? Because here's where I'm showing you that faith is not blind. Faith knows. So they knew, because it was the quote unquote tradition of the time, that if you went to see the priest would give you a clean bill of health. The priest was the only person who could do it. A priest, eh? What does a priest represent? What's a priest represent? If you think about what a priest does, he represents God to you. Yeah? He represents God. I see you. So when they went to the priest, they were declared whole. All 10 of them were declared, oh my goodness, you have a clean bill of health. You're free. One of the former lepers came back to Jesus. Now I will presume that he ran all the way back. He ran all the way back and he stopped and goes, whew, whew, Jesus, thank you. No, Shazad, the priest does not have any healing power at all. Listen to who has the healing power. They were told to go and show themselves. Remember, when they approached Jesus, they had leprosy. But he said to them, go and show yourself. Now, when they looked down at themselves before they turned away to go to the priest, they still had leprosy. The priest has no power to heal. That's not what the story is saying. The priest only has the power to declare what he sees, which is healed, which is a clean bill of health. That is all the priest can do, is to confirm what was already there. So it is the distance between hearing, go show yourself, just go show. The distance between go show yourself and hearing, you have a clean bill of health. Now remember, the priest represented healing. He only represented it because he was the only one that could look you over and say, oh, well, you don't have leprosy. So they knew that going to the priest, they knew that going to the priest would show them that they were no longer sick. That's what they knew. That's why they went. Because remember, they asked, oh, heal me. But Jesus said, go and show yourself. Ah. So the priest is you, for one. The leper is also you, and Jesus is also you. These are the different stages that we go through. We come seeking an answer. And the only person who has the power to show it to you is you. You are the priest. Shazad, you. So why though? Why is faith not blind? Faith is not blind. You don't have to hope that it works. It clearly tells you that you already have the faith, the knowing, which is what they did. They knew that that was the role of the priest. They knew the role of the priest was to show what was there. The role of the priest was to confirm or deny. But it was the role of the priest. So today, how does one have faith? By knowing. But what do you need to know? As within, so without. What you know inside of yourself. What you know. But what do we know? Because we've learned a lot of things in our existence already. We learn how to beg. Shazad, I listen, for one, I hope I'm saying your name right. But number two, I love what you just said there. They couldn't feel it themselves, that they were healed. But of course, that's the journey between asking for assistance and being declared whole, being declared no longer sick. That's the distance, the feeling. Because if they did not have the feeling, they would not have gone all the way to the priest. That's what the story is telling you. The story is telling you they felt. They felt. They walked all the way to the priest. Because remember, when they came because they felt sick. They came because they knew they had a problem. But think about it. In this day and age, if somebody says to you, hey, Go show yourself to the priest. If he says, go show yourself to the priest, you are going to have a particular thought. Priest? Why? I don't believe in no priest. I don't care about what the priest has to say. That's how he would be in this day and age. Really. But to show yourself means a number of things. You're not just showing the priest, you are showing yourself what it is you hold to be true. That's what you are showing yourself. When you have faith, you are showing yourself, you see, I know this thing. I know this thing. And I'm going to stand 10 toes down in it. 10 toes, 10 lepers, but that might be a stretch. But to stand 10 toes down means you know. So when they spoke to Jesus, when they put in their request, they had to feel that it was true. How do you know they felt it? I just loved your question. Oh my God. But how do you know they felt it? Because of where they ended up. He said, go there. And they went there. So the faith was already within them because they knew. So what do we know today? Because we're going to look at the only one who came back. The one who came back to say thank you, he became aware. He became aware that he was the one with the power. That's what he knew. And so he came back to say thank you for letting me see myself. That's why he said thank you. The others, they were just caught up in their celebration. But before that, one of 10 celebrated. He came back and he said, look at what you showed me. You showed me that I asked and I trusted, I knew, and therefore I got. Cyber, yes. Are we talking about according to your faith, let it be done to you? Well, yes, as within, so without. If the faith is all not already in you, how can it be done unto you? You can only do unto you that which is within you. So that's why I'm telling you, you already have faith. It could be the size of a mustard seed. Your faith could be the size of an iceberg. Your faith could be the size of pomegranates. Your faith could be the size of butternut squash. But you have faith within you. What size is it? It doesn't matter if it is as small as a pomegranate seed or a mustard seed. The point of the matter is what is within is what you experience on the outside. Because each seed must grow after its own kind. So it's not that you don't have faith. You sure do. I sure have faith. We have faith within us already. We have faith within us already. Where are you using it? Because faith is not blind, honey. Oh, honey's in the space today, too. Your faith is not blind. It's not blind. When you get up and you go to work, here's how you have faith in everyday life. I read this thing this morning where she said, she showed a meme and she goes, whew, this is how excited you are when your debit card wasn't declined. Listen, that was as much faith as you had to know. At least I got $5 in there because this is what the meme was saying. That's the faith right there. You know what's in your account. But there's a difference between knowing what's in your account and hoping that you have enough to cover. Those are not the same, right? Now, you go to work. When you get up in the morning, you know you're going to your job. Shoot, I'm already dressed and ready for mine. Because I know that is faith. You have faith to know when you go to work, you can do your job. Whether you were trained adequately or not is a different story. But you have faith in what you know because you use it all the time. But how do you use something? This is why I told you what the priest represented. The priest represented a particular thing of that time in the story. Because if you take it literally, that was the function of the priest. So then it would represent, what do you know? What have you learned? And when you exercise what you have learned, you know what you have learned, thereby you have faith in yourself to exercise what you have learned. When you're doing data entry, did you wake up today and just, oh, I can do data entry. I'm not Trinity on the Matrix yet. Can you fly this thing? Not yet. So you learned how to do something. You learned how to do it so that you can do it with your eyes closed when you do data entry. You can type. Because that's what I do all day, right? So this is what I'm saying to you. When I go to the grocery store, you can tell who the seasoned ones are. Because another coworker will lean over and say, hey, what's the code for green onions? And they'll just say it to the other one. They don't have to go look it up. Why? Because they have practiced. But because they have practiced, where do they draw the faith from? In themselves. The code is just there on the paper. It's just you might not even memorize them. You could just use your paper all the time. But using the paper all the time slows you down. This is why memory is helpful. Because what you're doing when you remember, you recall the information because you know it. You're like, man, I know this stuff. So where's the faith? The stuff that you know? Or is it in you when you practice it? You say, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. That is what faith is. I know what I am doing. That is what faith is in layman's terms. I know what I am doing. Listen, I'm not a bricklayer. I'm not a carpenter. I sure as heck am not a plumber or an electrician. I don't know those things. So because I don't know, I have no confidence in that I could plumb something. So I'm trusting today that you begin to understand what faith is. It is nothing that is blind that you go and you hope. Oh, no. But how is it that you learn? You learn by doing. You learn by doing. So what is it that we do on a daily basis? We imagine on a daily basis. We have things in our minds on a daily basis. And the things we have in our minds, when we say, man, you see, and then you go outside and you see it, and you're like, oh, shoot, I knew that was going to happen. But how did you know? Because you had it in you. You said it. You felt it. You knew it. Thereby, as within, so without. I know how to drive stick shift. Ooh, ain't nothing better than a. There's nothing as awesome as driving a stick shift. I drive an automatic now, but I still pop that baby. Let me tell you, because when you're driving on snow and ice, you got to pop that bad boy down to second gear, first gear, so that the engine brakes, you don't have to put your foot on the brake and slide through the intersection. I have full confidence. So faith can also be confidence in the knowing. So, what is it that you know? It comes out of your heart, out of your mouth. When you say, I am, you are saying, I know because I've done this a million times. I know because I've heard this a million times. I know because experience. As within, so without. You know a thing. That is faith. So we think faith is, it's not really, I truly don't know sometimes what we think faith is, but we conflate faith for hope. Oh, ooh, I'm really hoping. Those 10 lepers didn't hope. They turned around and said, oh, hi ho, off to the priest we go. That's what they did. And they went because they knew that that was the role of the priest, to show them what they had inside. And how do you know what they had inside? Because of the one who came back to say thank you. That's how you know what they had inside. So today, what's it that you know that you do all the time? So when you learn something new and you become confident in now what you've learned and your ability to do it, you've just exercised your faith. You've increased your faith. Well, how so? Because you learned something new and now you do it. You do it. Lewis Hamilton has full faith, not in his car, man. That's what the pit is for. You drive into the pit and they do what they need to do. But he has faith in his skill to turn lap after lap after lap after lap. He has faith in his skill, which would be himself. But we're running around talking what we have to have faith in God. Don't come for me this morning because I said what I said. Oh, look how lovely the moon is. I said what I said. We have been misguided to always be looking outside of ourselves. Those 10 people with leprosy went to Jesus, but we think Jesus is outside. So that's what I mean, the difference between taking the story literally and then taking the story psychologically. Psychologically, we always ask a question to ourselves. Psychologically, do we not? The universe is a mental creation. The all is mind. So we ask ourselves a question. But what's the first thing that happens when you start asking yourself? Oh, you shouldn't talk to yourself. Talking to yourself is a sign of insanity. Is it? I bet you, well, Nikola Tesla spoke to pigeons, and he also spoke to himself, and ain't nobody surpassed his skill yet. So I'll pick his level of insanity over today's. I'll tell you that. We always speak to ourselves. We always ask ourselves, listen, when I go to the grocery store and I can't find something, I stop in the middle of the aisle and I say, show me. And it's almost like as if by magic, it just appears on the shelf. It didn't appear on the shelf. I just couldn't see it. But I said, show me. I've always done that. Show me or tell me. I'm asking myself. You are asking yourself these things. So then where must God be? In your bosom, your chest, the heart. That's where it is. So every day we learn. What do we learn when we come to this space? We learn that the all is mind, the universe is a mental creation. These are not my rules. These are not my 7 opinions. As within, so without. As above, so below. Everything vibrates. Nothing can stand still, which means when the scripture tells you weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning, that's what it means. You can't always be in a state of weeping. You've got to be in a state of joy as well. Because you can't stay the same. Everything moves. Everything moves. And listen, humanity is so wise. We say it in our own special way. Ain't nothing constant but change. That's how humanity says it. The only thing guaranteed is change. Well, duh, yeah. That's the principle of vibration. Everything moves from where it is to where it is going. And you think you're somehow exempt from that? So when I tell you, if you're facing a problem this morning, it's me again, Lord. I got a prayer that you can't answer. It's me again, Lord. I got a problem you can solve. All I need is to worry you. All I need is something new. Yeah, we used to sing that when I was a little girl in church. It's me again, Lord. You know what that song teaches? It teaches persistence. It's me again, again, again. That's what persistence is. Doing it again and again and again and again. That's what we do. So today, you must know that you are faith itself. You just are. You learn, you apply. You learn, you apply. And the more you learn and the more you apply, the stronger the faith gets. It would have to. Because when you can, like Neville Goddard says, if you can believe for $500, believe for $500. Because you can see that is easier for you because that's what's in you. That's your mustard seed then. But when you, quote unquote, have that feeling inside of what that $500 would do for you, and you say, "Ooh, it's mine." What do you think happens when you experience the $500? Well, you say, "Well, if I could do it with five, I could do it with 1,000. If I could do it with 1,000, I could do it with two." Everything is moving from where it is to where it is going, and moves. It moves as within, so without. So if your measure is 500, then you have to get the 500. If your measure is 1,000, then you get the 1,000. So next time you think you have failed and fallen short of the glory, now you landed right where you were on the inside. You didn't fail, you just got what you were. As within, so without. You want more? Be more. You see how the grace is? Every day it tells you to strive. But we think strive means to get the house, the car, the land, the girls, the guys, the money in the bank. We think that's what striving is. Striving is getting to the point where you know beyond the shadow. Put that into context. Because what casts a shadow? You cast the shadow. So if you know beyond the shadow, well, then you must be bigger than you think you are. Because the shadow matches you. But if you can beyond the shadow, that means you are bigger than you think you are. How else would you cast something to go beyond it? You can't go beyond what you are. So if you can go beyond the shadow of a doubt, it means you know. It means that you know. Put it into context. I have a shadow right now because the moon is so bright. But to move beyond the shadow means I had to grow on the inside to make the shadow bigger, beyond what I presently know. So the next time you hear beyond the shadow of a doubt, you will understand what it means. It means you became far greater than you thought you were. Anyhow, I was really trying not to get so revved up this morning, but apparently that really is not my forte, to be all sweet and calm. And no, I have something to say and I got to say it because I was driving home yesterday and I got real upset. And I was like, why am I? Because I felt like the Incredible Hulk. I said, why do I feel so upset? Listen, I was blue vexed, let me tell you. That's how they say it in Barbados. I was real mad. And let me tell you what I discovered about that anger. I discovered I was upset. I was upset with humanity. Because humanity is so much more than they are. We are so much more than we are. And we don't even try to peel back the layer to say, what more am I? But yet we complain when we are mistreated. And I got so upset. And I felt like Moses. Remember when the people of Israel were in the desert and they were like, you brought us out of Egypt, you'll make us die of thirst out here. And Moses got so mad. God did all this for you, and you have the audacity to complain. And God said to Moses, speak to the rock, Moses. Speak to the rock, and the water will come forth. And Moses was so mad, he took that staff out, packs, and he hit that rock. The water still came, but I felt that anger because I'm looking around and I'm like, my goal is a Cybertruck? Really? This is what I'm thinking of. You meant a Cybertruck? That's our goal? I'm like, come on. We have to rise. Every time you open up the Bible, there's rise. Take up your bed and rise. Rise is all you keep hearing. But we still sitting here. But you know, I had to remember why we do what we do. We do what we do because for many a year, eon, millennia, something or someone has whispered to humanity. And it whispers to humanity in a very particular way. Oh, humanity, you will never be anything other than what I want you to be. And don't you realize, humanity, that there's something in you that says, but there must be more that I am capable of doing? Do you not realize that we do that? We say it. We wrestle against that thing that says, this is all you will ever be. Do you not realize we wrestle against that? We wrestle not against flesh and blood. We don't wrestle each other. We wrestle the imaginary, which is the thought that says, meh, you are what you are, and you ain't never gonna be nothing else. But let me tell you a little something. If we would get up, yeah, and rise to the occasion. But here's why it sometimes is a struggle to rise to the occasion, because we are weighed down by what you ask. Bills, bills, bills. That's what we burdened by, honey. Because when you are burdened with that, how you gonna rise? So how do you get through the burden of it? You have to rise mentally. This is why when scripture tells you you are in the world but not of it, it means your thoughts are higher. Oh, you still down here on this planet. We still paying bills. Yeah, but they don't bog you down anymore. Illness doesn't bog you down anymore because your thoughts are not on earthly things. This is how you fix yourself. But then again, you're near broken anyway to begin with. You're not broken. You're whole. But we have bought into the lie, this great deception that somehow humanity is lacking. We are beasts. Well, as within, so without. Now you understand why somebody took the time to tell you. Because when you could plant a seed, all you got to do is plant the seed. All you have to do is plant the seed. So the same way that you can ensnare a mind is the same way that you can free it. Let me say that slowly. The same way that you can ensnare a mind is the same way that you set it free. Plant the seed in it. Plant either the seed of bondage or plant the seed of freedom. My name is Shatta Wale. Freedom. Sorry. Now we into Afro beats, but I digress. So what will you do today now that you know that you have faith, that you are faith? What will you do with it? How will you apply it to know what you know? Well, then the end of longing is always to be. The end of longing is always to be. To be. Don't make me do Shakespeare. To be or not to be. That. Now that is the question. That's the question. What are you going to be? When you see your faith, how do you see the evidence of your faith? By what you are faithfully doing. What you're faithfully being, you will see the measure of your faith. But you know what? I think I hollered enough for the day. Cyber says, "Oh my God, I did that the other day looking for something at the store." He says the Angela show me technique at work. It's not, you know, Cyber. Thank you for sharing that. Well, let me say it to you this way. Ain't no technique, baby. As within, so without. You had the desire to see, thus you saw. That is all it is. The desire to see will let you see. The desire to hear will allow you to hear. This is why when scripture says, those who hunger and thirst after righteousness shall be what? Satisfied. Why? Because as within, so without. Right? There's no, you see, Ray, there's no need to have fear. Not like that. Because you're always being watched. Why? Because you're always watching yourself. And I don't even know if Kiara is still here. Hello, Kiara. I see you. You have a wonderful day too, darling. You guys in the fan base chat are awesome. And you see, um, amen. This you mentioned Shrek because Balaam was the first body to do it. Balaam was the first person to do it. Balaam had a talking donkey. You don't know that story? Oh, hello. Balaam was riding his donkey. Now, I can't remember why he was riding the donkey, but the donkey saw the angel. And the angel, Balaam could not see the angel, but the donkey could see the angel. And so the angel is standing in the middle of the road with a big sword ready to kill Balaam. So Balaam got mad at the donkey and started to kick the donkey and tell the donkey how foolish it is. You're wasting my time. I'm late for my date. Let's go. And so the donkey decided he was going to move towards the wall. He was trying to go past the angel in the middle of the road. So he went to the wall because he's got his master berating him. But yet he's trying to save his master's life. So he pinned Balaam's leg against the wall. And Balaam was going to beat that donkey. And the donkey said to Balaam, "Why do you beat me when the angel is there to kill you?" And as he said that to Balaam, Balaam's eyes were open and he saw the angel. I only told you that story because somebody mentioned Shrek in the chat. So that's the whole point, right? It's not that he had a talking donkey. It's that sometimes when we're wrestling against our own selves because we can't see something just yet, We can't see it. This is what the story is telling us. We cannot see it just yet, but it's a thing that we're always doing, right? We're always doing it. And then I tell you all the time, whenever you say, oh my God, why do I keep doing this? Why does this keep happening to me? Why do I make the same choice? That's Balaam, that's a donkey, and that's the angel, all in one. Because you are doing something that you cannot see what you're doing. That's why you keep making the same choice. Not because you're lazy or you're foolish, but because you keep making the same choice that you've always made. So you can only make the same choice that you have always made because it's the only choice you know how to make. So that's what it means that Balaam was on a donkey, because remember, a donkey is stubborn. He's stubborn. He's like a mule. You can't get him to move. He's stubborn. That's the representation of our habits. They are stubborn. They appear to be immovable, but they are not immovable. The same way, because then again, there's only one way to make a habit. We don't break them, we make them. Only one way. Do the same thing the same way every time, and you will be just as stubborn as a donkey, and you will not deviate from your path at all. That's what that story is telling you. You are stubbornly doing something that's leading you somewhere, but the change you want is right there. The change that you want is right there. I trust, yeah? I trust that today this makes sense as to faith for you. You do what you know. You're constantly exercising the things that you've learned. And you do them every day. When you go to Mr. Lube and those guys are working under your car, they're learning over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, thereby building their faith in themselves and their skill that they have acquired. They have faith in what they do. They have faith in themselves to do it well. That is what faith is. So what are you persistently practicing? Because so if it's persistently complaining, your faith, go your way. Your faith has made you whole. So whatever that is that you do, you're doing it faithfully, which would tell you that the faith is already in you. I'ma land there. Let me get the daytime, the AM chime. And when you hear the AM chime, you ask yourself, show me my faith. Huh? Let me see my faith. What is the measure of my faith? And if you don't like the present measure of your faith, what do we practice? We practice knowing who we want to become. Rehearsing in imagination what we would be doing if we became it. And immersing ourselves in the feeling of it. This is how we move from faith to faith to faith to faith. Well, after all, you've got to become something new in order to do something new. Being a new creation. Oh, let me get that shine. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I didn't even say hello to people this morning. My goodness. Symmetric. It is always lovely to see you, darling. It is always lovely to see you here in this Twitter sphere. Always good to see you. Um, we have Cyber, uh, Shirzad, Skylar. I didn't even see you till just now. I don't even know if you're still here, but um, you can message me. My link tree's there. Give me a shout. Um, yeah, you guys are in YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, and fan base. Flo Smiles. Flo Smiles. I gotta DM you. Okay, I gotta DM you. Um, AM Amani, hey, welcome to the space. Oracle Treehouse and Moon are here also. Um, thank you all for being here. You know I'll see you tonight. I'll see you tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be reading Neville. I think I will do the bowl and chimes on Monday nights. I think I have not finalized that yet. It just depends on the feedback. Uh, but we'll see. Definitely let me know if you were part of that last night or um, what your thoughts are about it. And definitely, I know Flo Smiles was there last night. Kizzy,
I enjoyed it last night. I thought it was great.
oh, that reason alone, we gonna keep it on Monday nights. We gonna keep it on Monday nights. Hey, Burnt Skillet. So yes, that will be Monday nights now, where we will do the bowl and the chimes. It's just usually like a half an hour, but just sound, just sound leading up to, because he's been snowed in. Uh, he's been snowed in, so once he comes back live again, I will respond to his questions and then see if we can get that scheduled right away here on Fanbase and YouTube, Facebook and TikTok and Twitter. Well, Twitter I might not, because you have to be able to see. So I might do a watch party on Fanbase and stream it there too for those who want to be on Fanbase. And then, but that learning about sound and how it affects us and how we benefit from sound, that's definitely something I think we should participate in. So anyhow, feel free to message me and I'll let you know. So peace out, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. Fanbase, we always end here because I gotta boil some water and get my tea ready before I head out the door and bring Lil Bit down so we get to spend some time with Lil Bit in the morning. But I'll see you tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know which lecture we're going to read just yet, but Cyber, if you're still here, you can slide into my DMs on Discord and tell me what lecture you want to hear tonight, and we'll read it. It doesn't matter if it's a repeat. They're all good. Like the Pearl of Great Price, that's a great one too. But let me know your thoughts, Cyber. All right, y'alls. Peace out, Twitter. Twitter is closed. Peace out, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok.